Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. So, my topic for today is about motion. So, before we proceed about motion, I have here a video in which we need to know about what is motion. So, here is the video.
Force and motion. Imagine you're playing in a playground. Think of all the things around you that can move. The seesaw goes up and down. The swings go back and forth. The merry-go-round goes around in a circle. There are so many ways in which things move. Everything we just described is a type of motion. Motion is movement from one place to another. When the seesaw is still and you and a friend sit on it, it begins to have motion. One seat goes up while the other goes down. They change their positions. Position is the place where you are. If you
So, that's it for the motion. So, let's proceed to our activity. So, it's our activity time. So, here in activity, we can have there's a 4 picture. So, first picture is a train, and second picture which is a man on a bike, and third which is the guest that is flying, and fourth which is the nature that is showing. So here in activity, you need to investigate in which what could be the possible changes. What could be the possible changes about the train, a man on a bike, the guest on the that is flying, and a picture that is shooting. So that is the activity. So now let's proceed to the questions. So in each pictured in the figure above, what have you seen? What could be the position of the train? So first question is, what is moving and how is its position changing? So in the first picture, which is the train, so the positions are changing. The train is and its passengers are spending straight to the trunk for the next station. So that is the moving process in which it's changing the positions. And also the next is the man on the bike. So on the man on the bike is about racing about curving in a highway. So that is also a moving process of a man on a bike. And third, we also have here a guest on a flying, so over the wetland of environment. That's also a moving or the position changing. And fourth, we also have a meteor that is shooting through the atmosphere through the earth. So that is also moving or a position changing. So that is what we call the motion. So our second is, what is your frame of references if the train is moving? So, and also have here the third, how can we perceive motion depends on our frame references. So there's a lot of motion depends on a frame of references, just like the train, the man on a bike, and also the guest that is flying and the meteor that is shooting. So that's it for our activity. So that's all. So now let's proceed. So what is really motion? A motion is a process of an object moving or being moved. Motion that can be repeats is said to occur in a pattern. So motion, we can observe that patterns of motion is make predictions about how things will move in the future. The force that slows down moving object is called friction. So this is also defined as a change in position in relation to a reference point. So when we can say motion, it's about changing positions, just like what we have a train. So that is a changing position That is what we call motion. And also, we also have here a reference point. So what is reference point? A reference point is a place or object used to comparison to determine if something is in motion. An object is in a motion if it is changing position relative to a reference point. Object that we call stationary, such as a tree, a sign of a building, make a reference point. So that is a reference point. So if we can say that the motion is about the changing position, just like what we example, we are walking on the street, so that is what we call moving or changing position. So that is motion. So we also have here a types of motion, but there's a lot of motion. But in the motion, there's all linear motion. So what is linear motion? A linear motion is a straight line. So just like, for example, a car. So that is a linear motion. And it might be the car is moving to the left or to the right. That is nonlinear motion. But a car, if there goes to straight, that is what we call linear motion. And second, we also have nonlinear motion. So a nonlinear motion is not a single straight line. So as what I have said, a car, if the car is going to straight, that is a linear motion. But if the car is going to the right or left, that is what we call nonlinear motion. So, and when analyzing linear and nonlinear motion, it is about distance, displacement, speed, velocity, acceleration, and deceleration are some commonly encountered physical quantities. So there's a lot of motions when it comes to our environment. So, but I have here an example in which we need to know more about the motion. So we can assume that the school bus passes by and you are stand at the sidewalk. So it's obvious that the bus is moving, right? But what about to the children inside the bus? So is it moving or just staying? So the bus isn't moving relative to them. So if they look at the other children sitting in the bus, they won't appear to be moving either because they're just sitting. So if the ride is really smooth, the children may only be able to tell that the bus is moving because it's also about smooth ride of the bus. So as a student and a bus, the student will be able to know that the bus is moving by looking at the window or seeing the trees that is whistling by. So that is what we call motion. So in our environment, there's more. There's a lot of motion than the object simplifying changing positions. So here in our motion, we can say that the if we are walking, we can say that if you are walking a straight line, you are just saying that you are moving. You are just changing positions. So that as we call motion. So that's it for the motion. So that's it for my topic about motion. Thank you.